Okay, boys and girls, today is an extension of yesterday's lesson. We're going to talk about quadratic formula first because we're going to end up doing all of our roots with polynomials, and we might get a quadratic equation at the bottom that we can't factor. We can't, no matter what number we plug in for our real solutions, it doesn't work. So when we do that, we have to do quadratic formula. So there's a couple different lessons on YouTube here about quadratic formula, but a crash course. The part underneath the square root is called the discriminant. Now, when we plug in A, B, and C into the discriminant, that tells us how many solutions there are. So if that number is bigger than 0, you have 2 real solutions. If it equals 0, you have 1 real solution. And remember, solutions are where it crosses. So there's 2, there's 1, and then if there's none, it would be floating up here or down there or something like that. Okay? And then we're going to be doing a lot with this today because it has to do with imaginary numbers, and that's with the square root of -1, which remember is I. Okay, so that's all imaginary stuff. Complex just means imaginary and real combined together. So if we take this equation right here, 2x squared plus 5 equals 2x, we first move 2x over here, we get negative 2x on the other side. Then a is 2, b is -2, and c is 5. So then we plug it into b squared minus 4ac, so I get -2 squared minus 4 times 2 times 5. Do all that, I get 4 minus 40, which is -36. That's less than 0, so that means there are no real solutions. Now the next thing, if we want to actually get these solutions, we'd plug it into the quadratic formula. So x equals -2, that makes +2. Now we already did what's underneath the square root, that's -36. So 4 minus 40, all that stuff, over 2a, 2 times 2 is 4. Okay? Then 6i got in black here, we can break -1 up, 36 is 6 times 6. Square root of -1 is I, square root of 36 is 6, 6i, and then reduce. Each one of these is divisible by 2. Alright? Now here's the bread and butter. This is what we're doing. Go ahead and pause it, and we'll go and get started. Okay, sorry about that. There's some tuning going on outside, and it was really loud. Okay, so our first step from yesterday was to find out all of our possibilities. So we take the factors of that, so -4 and 1, and then plus or minus 2, all over factors of 2, which are +2 and 1. So our possibilities are 4 over 2, which is 2, 4 over 1, which is 4, 1 over 2, which is 1/2, and 1 over 1, which is 1. 2 over 2 is 1, 2 over 1 is 2. So those are our 8 possibilities, right? All positives, all negatives, so 4 and 4 make 8. Our second step was to try one of those numbers and see if they work. So take maybe, sorry, I'm not doing that yet. Take 1 and put it in, and let's see if it equals 0. If it equals 0, then we're happy and we can do synthetic division. If it doesn't equal 0, then we're sad and we got to try another number. So it's going to be 2 minus 1 plus 3 minus 4. Sure enough, that equals 0, so we are indeed happy. From there, we're going to do synthetic division. So we take 1, and now we're with this one. With this equation, we're going to do 2, -1, 3, -4, synthetic division. We've done lots of work on that. It gives 1. 1 times 1 is 1, that gives 4, and sure enough, that gives us 0. Okay, now 2, 1, and 4, what that represents is 2x squared plus x plus 4. I know one of my factors is x minus 1, because 1 worked, right? We were happy, that's it. Now from there, I can't factor this. Whatever I get, I can't make 2x and x and some question mark. I can't make it be 4 and add up to 1. So that's where the quadratic formula comes into play. So we're going to take this. Remember, this is A, this is B, and that's C. So we got x equals -b, so -1 plus or minus the square root of b squared. B squared is just 1, minus 4 times A, almost wrote A, all over 2 times 2, which is 4. So I get x equals -1 plus or minus square root of -31 over 4. Now I don't like -31. What we're going to say is -1 plus or minus I squared of 31 over 4. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out here for a sec. So what we have is that we have 3 answers. So if they were asking us to factor this, break it down to, parentheses and all that stuff, we would need to write out all 3 of our solutions and kind of the opposite one, right? We said 1 was our answer, but we write x minus 1. So if negative 1 plus or minus, so it's going to be x and the opposite number there, plus 1, and then pick one, plus I root 31 all over 4. Or you can break it up and have two fractions like that with 4 there as well. Okay, then we got to do the minus, so it's still x plus 1, and then this is the sign that changes, minus I root 31 over 4, and both of them have over 14. All right, that's what they asked us to factor. They just want the zeros of the roots. Then x is 1, and then x is negative 1 plus or minus, or just plus, sorry. I root 31 over 4, and x equals negative 1 minus I root 31 over 4. Okay, so two ways to explain the same stuff. These are the roots, these are the factors. It's the same thing. Just look at the signs. They're opposites because we're saying these are the factors. All right, good luck. Watch this video again. Go watch the other video from yesterday. See ya.